So, the Overcomers Evangelical Ministries are known for powerful messages in their films, and this one wasn't an exception at all. One thing I loved about this movie was the message in this movie. It was great, and I learned a lot from this one. So, was produced by Toyin and Olumide fatunsin. It was directed and written by Toyin fatunsin. The DOP on the set was Toyin and Beloved, and then the lighting and sound was done by Toyin fatunsin, and then it was edited by Toyin fatunsin. So, the movie is from the stables of the Evangelical Film Productions or Overcomers Evangelical Ministries, rather, based in Spain. So the movie features cast like Bunmi, played by Toyin fatunsin, and Auntie, played by Hepzibah Irabo, and Segun, played by Olumide fatunsin. So generally, it tells the story of a lady who was in her 40s and had this problem right from the time when she was a teenager, that it was only married men that were coming to seek her hand in marriage, and she could not just tell why this was happening to her. Not until when she grew and attained the age of 40, she discovered that this is not just an ordinary thing, and she talked to her auntie. She talked to her auntie about it, and then her auntie told her of how her own mom wasn't married as well, and also the auntie wasn't married as well, and then she discovered that this thing wasn't just ordinary, so she had to tackle it in prayers, and at the end of the day she was saved and she got married and gave birth to children. Basically, that's all this movie is talking about. It's talking about ladies not giving up, knowing your background, knowing your roots, tracing your problems to your roots, and also believing in the word of God. That's basically what this story is telling us, or is talking about rather. So straight up to the things I love and things I did not like about the movie. As you all know, it's a review, and I'll always be giving it to you all straight up as it is. Each character suited each person, or the casting was appropriate in the sense that each character suited the role. Each character physically suited the role given to them to take up. So that I loved about the movie. I mean, a lady playing the role, acting age 40 was suited that role. Toyin fatunsin suited that role. Next thing was the costuming. The costuming of the movie was appropriate. Acting was great. Everyone did well. And then the story and the message, as usual, was powerful. Everyone knows Overcomers Evangelical Ministries. Almost all their movies are heavily loaded in terms of messages. They don't joke with their messages. That's one thing I appreciate about all their movies. Straight up to the things I did not like about the movie. I saw the tripod in the shots. In the church scene, I saw the camera tripod in the shots, and I think that was an error. It should have been taken off. And then this movie had lighting issues in the sense that some of the scenes were not well lighted. Next thing was that there were no establishing shots for us to connect to where the characters were at some point. We had to go into the scene and through conversations or through dialogue before we know, okay, this is a church scene. There were no establishing shots. That I felt wasn't good enough. Also, the phone call scenes were not realistic in the sense that I saw the phone calls. The characters were not making any phone call. I mean, if the director would have been careful not to show the screen of the phone when in the phone call scene, the phone was blank, and I could tell that the characters were not making any call. I mean, the shots should have been taken maybe a wide shot instead of taking a full close-up shot for that, seeing the fact that they were not actually making any call. Also, there were some little editing issues, and at some point the lips were not matching with what the characters were saying, and some things were forced into the movie. I think some scripts that were forgotten on set were later forced into the movie during the editing. That I did not appreciate about the movie. And also, it rounded up too early. 1 year later, before we knew it, it was already 1 year later, and then 7 months later, and then the movie ended. I think that was rushed, and I think we needed to see more in terms of the deliverance process. We needed to see more about that, not just the movie rounding up too early like that, because we enjoyed the movie and we wanted to see more. Those were the things I did not like about the movie. I still think it's a great one, and it's a brilliant one. Go check it out on Toyin fatunsin's YouTube channel, and then let's discuss in the comment section. Do you agree with what I said? Let me know. Don't you? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching this movie review. My name remains Daniel. Of course, keep your fingers crossed for more gospel film reviews from me. Bye for now. Of course, I'll see you all later in the next one. Catch.